Hey YouTube and Yugi tubers, what's going on? ZeroMagnumX here. This video is to inform all of you the different kind of card games you guys can play. Why? Because Konami's ban list is pretty junky this format. So for those who might want to take a break for next format or just quit Yu-Gi-Oh together, this video is for you. And for anyone who likes card games as a hobby, this video is for you as well. Okay, first up is Yu-Gi-Oh itself. We all love the game, we all know the game, sometimes we hate the game, sometimes Konami gives us a bad format, sometimes they give us great formats. It is what it is. So I don't need to explain much, you're probably here and subscribe to me for that reason. The first card game that I want to feature is Cardfight Vanguard. This card game is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be interesting. Now, I've looked into tutorials for it, and I can go over the positives and the negatives. The positives is that it looks fun. It's from the Duel Masters and Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga creators, okay, that are behind this TCG. So it's a little bit more familiar in that sense. However, that's about where the familiarity stops. If you guys are reading this, it says Cardfight Vanguard is Japan's latest TCG, which it brings both manga authors together to develop a unique and interesting card game. The game uses many similar elements from other card game animes such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is the draw 5 cards at beginning, draw 1 every turn. Player that goes first can't attack. TCG games like this have been very successful in Japan and many countries, and the creators are hoping to go worldwide with this one. So if you guys are looking for a relatively new game that's shaky, that only has a few trial decks out, this is the game for you. However, the good and the bad come with it. On the good side, you have a new TCG that's relatively inexpensive. On the bad side, you could end up with the same kind of community and card prices could shoot up in price. You could end up with Yu-Gi-Oh! Card prices for some of the Cardfight Vanguard cards. So, being that this is such a new TCG, you could end up with issues. In fact, the same issues that Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG has right now. The next one is my secondary card game, or what is almost equal to Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is Magic the Gathering. This card game has been around since the mid to late 80s and has been going strong since. Now that doesn't mean that it was as big or as popular at that time, but however, that's about when it was created. It's modeled after Dungeons and Dragons, which is modeled after Chainmail, which is modeled after Lord of the Rings. So in an inadvertent way, this card game is modeled after Lord of the Rings. It's evolved into something quite different. I praise this card game because of their research and development. Those who constantly complain about things like TCG exclusives being busted and all that, Magic doesn't have that problem. They test play their sets, and they make their sets a year in advance before release. So until you get the final product, they figure out all the kinks and all the problems with it. Magic is an amazing card game. It has a variety of formats that you can play in, and is overall a fun game. I'd suggest looking into it if you're being serious for picking up a secondary card game, and it has basically what you need. Like, what is Magic? Basics of the game. Learn to play and getting started. So there's not really much else aside from that. The game is a little bit less expensive than Yu-Gi-Oh! And is very much one of the best card games that I can promote. So it's not inexpensive, but it's not over the top expensive either. It's a moderate card game. So I'd say that's the only con to it, is that you're still going to be spending a little bit of money for another card game. Okay, Pokemon TCG. The reason I'm suggesting this is mostly for the player who does not want to play for the format and wants to take a break and would like to play a relatively cheap game. The reason I'm saying this is because The Pokemon TCG game, I can tell you most of the best cards are like $4 or $5 a piece. And it just goes down from there. The only difference is that the full art cards tend to be pricey, so your bling is more expensive. Those are around $20. The con to this game is that it's probably for a younger player base. So where it's really, really fun, it's a little bit on the repetitive side. And most card game players are okay with a little bit of repetition, as most of us play Yu-Gi-Oh! So that shouldn't really be too much of a con, but you could end up in some trouble and the game could become a little redundant. Next up is Duel Masters. I personally don't care for this game, mostly because it reminds me of an easy version of Magic the Gathering, and it kind of takes away from the skill base because of that. It's generally pretty easy to pick up, it's generally pretty cheap, but I don't see much of a player base for it. So if it's a card game that's in your fancy and it's around your area, pick up Duel Masters. But most of my experience has been that people are not playing this game, especially not for most series players from Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up is the World of Warcraft TCG. I can honestly say I don't know much about this card game, but it seems interesting. Right here's a learn to play, which means that they're trying to make it user-friendly. That's positive. The card game's fairly new, it's only a couple of years old, I believe. And generally doesn't have the same probable prices I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic would. So I don't know really too much on how to play it, so I can't really give you the pros or cons on this one, but I know if you're a World of Warcraft fan, you'll probably enjoy the game. Next up is a game that I used to absolutely love. way back, whenever it was different. But this card game has a lot of positive in that it's got the show franchise behind it. However, I believe there is one important vital fact, and that's the fact that this card game constantly is changing. And I don't mean like in a positive way. It seems like it's constantly changing to where, well, let's see if there's a single card here and it looks the same. Earlier, whenever looking over the cards, it was different. I used to have Pokemon cards with like 150 attack, and they had red and blue and yellow on them, and you could evolve into different, or digivolve into different things. It was very different. Okay, the reason I'm sounding like I am is because I'm going to show you guys something, and I'm not too keen on this. It's kind of disappointing, actually, I'd have to say, almost. Alright, whenever we look at this, yeah, the price is cheap, but if you hadn't noticed, okay, click the zoom. Apparently my computer's telling me no. Alright, apologies for that, folks. You know, a second, it's gonna reset. Alright, it has an attack and a defense. That screams Yu-Gi-Oh! Pseudo card game to me. I haven't looked into the mechanics, and I could be completely wrong, but that's kind of why I strayed away from the Digimon TCG, is because when a card game updates, it's usually pretty good, but it's bad whenever they've updated 4 or 5 times during the course of the card game. It means that the creators don't have a handle on how the game should play. And it means the R&D might be bad, and they may not test everything out full force. So, if you guys want to play the Digimon TCG, go for it if it's got a good player base in your area. But I personally am straying away from this one, just because of the constant changes. Okay, next up is the Dragon Ball Z card game. I think this card game also altered and changed over the course of its play. I haven't really stuck with it. I knew it used to be power level versus power level, and that's how you determine a winner or loss, and it was a little overcomplicated. Now whenever I click on one, let's just, I guess, do Android 18 here. it seems like it's more of a Naruto system. Now, I don't know if, with that said, that Naruto and DBZ come from the same creators now or not, but it looks like it's the exact same format and setup. I mean, I'm not even gonna mince words or lie here or anything like that. It just seems like with these here, it seems like it's got the attack and the resting and then the support all with that for Dragon Ball Z. And again, apologies, I guess Toy Wiz doesn't like my computer. So that's a DBZ card game. I can't really tell you the positives or negatives of it. I played Naruto a little bit. Somebody taught me how to play. I can tell you I nearly forget how to play now. But, you know, if you guys are into Dragon Ball Z, it may not be a bad card game to get into if there's a player base. Finally, the Naruto card game itself. So, I mean, this game's been out for quite the while. It's pretty simplistic and yet complicated at the same time. I didn't have many troubles learning it as long as it was explained to me. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. I don't know really how strong this card is or how good it is. I just know it's a turn 6 dude and you gotta discard 1. So you gotta wait 6 turns to play it and then it costs you 1. But as you can see, like the ninja symbols here, the 7-3 and 6-2, set up exactly like Dragon Ball Z. So I'm not entirely sure if they're by the same company or if it's similar or different or whatever. But Naruto's a different kind of card game. You basically have to play to learn how to play the game. I don't really see any tutorials on here or, hey, learn how to play, which again is kind of a poor indication of a card game. But, you know, if you guys want to get into a secondary card game, this is what they have. There's also the DC, I believe it's DC or it's Marvel, versus card games. So, I mean, if you're comic book fans, they have that. Sci-fi fans, they have a Star Trek card game. I'm not sure how it plays. I haven't really looked into it. I don't know if they have a Star Wars card game. They might. They kind of, and I know it's rare to find, put out a Mega Man card game, but I don't think they ever did anything with it. I think that went and then died, which is kind of a disappointment because I absolutely love Mega Man. So, those are kind of the card game choices. I'm sure there's 100 other card games out there that you could find and look into for the area. But these are more of the popular card games that I know of, or at least were popular and are on the rise. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit of direction. And apologies for any tongue ties, apologies for the length, but I figured it might help you, and there's not much else I can say on the matter. So I bid you good night, good morning, whatever time of day it is, and peace, YouTube.